Dogs are meant to be social creatures. Unfortunately, when dogs are chained, it's usually done in a way where they're chained 24/7. So they're not getting interaction with other animals, they're not getting interaction with people. They're lonely, they're frustrated. A lot of dogs, they don't want to eat, they get just they're very sad, and it's almost like a self-inflicted suicide, I say sometimes, where they just kind of waste away. Physically, it can be damaging. Dogs can be strangled, choke themselves. A lot of times we find dogs that have tracheal damage, where they've pushed so hard on their neck that it's either collapsed completely or it's extremely damaged. I met a dog named Tucker, who I was volunteering for a group independent animal rescue and answering crisis calls, and one of the calls was a woman whose neighbor had a chained dog. We went out there, and the dog had a chain directly on his neck. There wasn't a collar, it was just the chain, and it had become embedded in his skin. And we went to try to pull it off of him, and it was covered in maggots underneath, and it was a really bad situation. And so I think that was one of the final straws where I said, we've got to stop this. There has to be something that we can do. We initially started to work on legislation to get tougher laws passed for chaining, and when seeing that that was going to take a little while, I thought, we need to do something to get more immediate results. And so we started out going door to door, letting people know we have this service. It was not the easiest thing in the beginning. People were a little bit skeptical of you offering something for free. But now it's gotten to the point where we have a reputation, and so people know who we are, and a lot of people come to us now.
Coalition to Unchain Dogs. I think so.
I appreciate this right here. It's it helps out Diesel, it helps out me, because I know I couldn't do it myself.
There's a specific dog named Bullet that we unchained last summer. When I met Bullet, he was chained to a tree, and I believe the owner said he was about 6 years old, and that he had been chained there for 6 years. Around him, they'd just thrown a lot of their trash there. There wasn't a dog house, there was little food, and I don't believe he had any water. And I believe that he had spent 6 years sitting tied to that tree watching people throw trash around him during rain, sleet, snow, heat, just watching life go by, chained there. So the day we built his fence, he really, when he got in his yard, just seemed so peacefully grateful. He just took his time checking out the entire yard and greeting all of us. He definitely was an older dog by this time, and his spirit was really broken, but he just looked so happy, and he really touched me just by the peace he had when he got in his yard and climbed into his doghouse for the first time in his life, I suppose, and just laid there and looked out, and you could just see the look on his face like, this is so much better.
You got ready?
Yeah, I think so.
Ready for this? You ready for this?
I'm ready.
Oh yeah, here we go. Come on.
You get an instant gratification. You get to see the dog go from that morning being sad and depressed and lethargic on the end of that chain to running around chasing a ball by the afternoon. So the difference that you can make in just those few hours is very rewarding. He's gonna sleep good tonight.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. This is the way for us to reach the people. I think a lot of people chain their dog because it's convenient. They have not recognized that a dog has feelings and emotions and is a being. They view that dog just the same as they view their television set. Whenever we get the dog off of the chain and put them in the fence, it makes the people see the dog in a different light.
We unchained a dog named Diamond last summer. and she was on a very short chain. It was actually the woman's son that had gotten the dog, but she, the lady that owned the house, she just did not care for the dog at all. She didn't like the dog. She was scared of it. She didn't like to go back there near it. So when we got the fence built and unchained Diamond and put her in the yard, we called the woman out there, and she stood there for a few minutes watching Diamond run around the yard and chase a ball and lick everybody, and she just started crying. She was so moved and so emotional, and just had no idea that a dog could have a personality.
Look at him, he's beautiful.
In the long run, I think that we want to raise awareness. We want people to have to be faced with the truth and the way that these animals are living. And I think that once people realize that, they will want to do something. And then in the meantime, since that's not something that happens very quickly, we do want to work on tougher legislation, and we just want to, go dog by dog as much as we can and get them off the chain.
I'll give you a wet one.
There you go.